Yeah, I think interestingly too, you know, one of the stronger maps in the pool for TYLOO just not available because it's just not, or actually the stronger maps anyway that TYLOO have, not necessarily available to them so easily in a series like this. So I'm really keen to see how the two styles do match up. I think, you know, as an OCE CS fan anyway, Brazilian teams always seem to have the matchup against us. Whether or not they have the same number against Asian teams, we're going to find that out directly.
Absolutely. Let's get underway with TYLOO versus paiN Gaming, one of the hometown heroes in TYLOO, to see if they can meet with Vision as well, who have already won one series in the lower bracket to stay on through. We're having an event drop already after some casualties already being found. Mosaic finding Bigu Zira, looking to force out a plant though. paiN, you've already got TYLOO here too.
Oh, everybody's here. It's a party. Party down under, but Chengdu style. We'll see whether or not they can just creep their way into the side. Davideus just trying to spot out heads. He's made a nuisance of himself. Jamyang falls, however, traded by Mosaic. And now NQZ trying to get the damage done. Too many angles to cover from his position. And they do find the retake successful.
Yeah, TYLOO off with a nice couple of trade frags backwards and forwards. The plant, though, down for paiN does mean that they should be able to force up and go back at it again if they want. Doesn't always necessitate getting the pistol and then, you know, translating that immediately into a loss to next round, right? We've seen some force up attempts looked pretty good. We've also seen them look pretty woeful. So it's to paiN's pick what they want to do here. But, of course, with that plant, they will force up.
They will. The invitation's always there, right? Like, yeah, you get the plant, you lose the round. Force up, why not? But TYLOO aren't beating around the bush either. They've got 3 M4s and 2 MP9s just to make sure that this round goes the way that they want, has the result that they want. And Mercury needs to be careful that he doesn't get caught out as he repositions.
For sure, Snow. Yeah, Snow's going to find some timing, or maybe you would have thought so. OZ are just finding that one. But the reposition from Mercury, I thought Davideus might be able to find the right timing on that line for the peek out. It's a bit unfortunate that he doesn't, because now they're going to be a little bit ready for the secret cross G to confirm some noggins that they've gone across.
Yeah, just not able to confirm exact numbers. Lobby crunch coming in though from TYLOO. Perfect to eliminate that threat, but they haven't spotted bomb, so they know it's still up somewhere.
You got to remember though that they had the confirmed information that the secret cross had happened, right? So there's the idea that there's still someone lurking about down there. Jamyang just going for the spot. You still got the ramp side of things cordoned off as well by G, so you just making sure that all bases are covered here. DGT to see what he can do to try and get in. But you would assume that it's just going to be too difficult for paiN to do something here. All 5 alive for TYLOO. There's that flip side of going for the force again, Jim. Just does not work out.
It does not. That being said, though, you know, you back yourself a little bit. Not a terrible risk to take in the second round of a series, but it doesn't pay off. It doesn't work. TYLOO just too strong in the end. And there were a few moments there where the timing could have gone awry for TYLOO, but they navigate themselves through that situation. Just pistols now in the upgrade here and there for paiN, but relatively slow because the utility is going to keep them at bay, at least initially. These Deagles, though, they always seem to be threatening.
Yeah, you can't overlook them, that's for sure. TYLOO back on towards Nuke as well. Remember, this is the map that they managed to best phase on in the best of 3. The opener for the series. CT side struggles some at the start. End the half 4-8 in the deficit. They lose the pistol. And then they run flawlessly on the T side. So I'm kind of excited to see TYLOO when things change up. If paiN are ready on their own CT side.
Well, we're about to see some Cirque du Soleil. Doesn't actually result in anything, though. They just face the firing squad that is TYLOO. And they're going to look to try and keep it clean.
Oh, hang on. Eagles with some damage. Looking for a third, not gonna happen. There's a little bit of how you're going in the server there, but nothing too heavy.
No, they needed something to try and get something out of that round, right? Make it interesting. And just not let the CT economy really have that that full benefit of flawless rounds either.
Yeah, definitely the time for paiN to start to get some of their key players online though, right? I'm looking at Snow, looking at Biguzira, the two general power players that you are starting to see them talk about wanting to be in the front lines, getting dirty with the action, being the tip of the spear, so to speak.
Mercury not finding too much information on the back of that, but Jam Young shoulder peeks his way around.
Oh, he's going to be hungry for something here, isn't he? 3 targets to try and allocate. The flash is going in, blinded as well. G, first presence of the AWP, not able to find the damage just yet. The mollies, yes, they will stop paiN from translating down the ramp. But we know from the other day as well, right, that paiN will reset themselves when they do get a little bit of an advantage play. Likely wrap themselves around at the moment, and Mercury, it's an important one, starts equalize, but you just have to be aware of this hell wrap towards the heaven. They're not. Biguzira now in towards this top site.
Oh, they're just being picked apart, aren't they? They've got no idea that there's still a player sitting on the silo. Isaiah's going to try and find that frag to equalize, but the round's already gone.
Yep.
Purely just going to be for survival at this point.
Oh, Isaiah's heard the drop. He'll have the clean execution on a Davideus, but it's still going to be the save situation at the end of it. A bit of a sleeping presence from Jam Young. This will be paiN getting their first round on the board. There is that AWP still on the floor, remember, that G dropped. But paiN, they will go to pick that up. I was going to say, focusing more on the hunt instead of the premium of that boomstick, but they will find it. They might even find Mosaic at the tail end of this one too. DGT going for a bit of the hunt.
He's also on the hunt for a high five.
Yeah, not sure if that kill was found at the end. I think Mosaic might have lost his life. We'll see what the investment that comes through. I mean, 7-2. He was he 6-2? It doesn't really matter. paiN got the round. Let's roll with that.
Yeah, the buy still is nice and healthy for TYLOO, so they're back to equal pegging in that instance. But QZ just trying to look to get onto that line fairly early on, smoked out of position. So just looking to utilize those spawns to find early entries. Hasn't necessarily yielded anything in this instance, but I'm liking the early aggression coming out of paiN to try and just catch anyone from TYLOO out. From time to time, they do get caught napping, right?
Confirmation, by the way, that nobody died at the tail end of that round. So Hosea did live, and so did the 3 of paiN. Can we say the same thing right now, though? Not for Mosaic. He is just absolutely red like a book, and Jam Young might be following in close proximity as well. The outer's control, nice and dominant from paiN. They give themselves some options to try and close this round cleanly.
Yeah, they've already got themselves out to a very healthy advantage. It's on the rest of TYLOO to maybe try and turtle up as best they can. They are quite spread. As, well, it's only now Mercury, G on his own. So if they can regroup, they can save, but that's about it.
You need to either see corners cut here by TYLOO or the save call already be made. There's a little licking of utility that they could try to get in for something here, but no smokes, no kits. It is just the better option to hold on to this weaponry for the next rounds. You can try and toy with a little bit of the economy state of paiN if you want to, but it's not going to be anything too consequential.
No.
It'll be a small hunt from paiN, but you'd not expect them to throw all 5 members at this situation.
Yeah, look, to be honest with you, I don't think you're going to see it. Maybe Snow, maybe Davideus, but okay. They're going to send it anyway. Doesn't matter. The juice is worth the squeeze for them.
They might get all three. They are sending all of the members at this one. And it's nice, isn't it? No guns saved for TYLOO into the next round. An opportunity for paiN to look to equalize now.
Yeah, that's exactly a gold star scenario for paiN. They've just taken all the weapons out of the hands of TYLOO. They're going to have to force them into a scenario where they're going to have to save. And this just allows paiN some breathing room. But we know TYLOO a little bit better. They don't really hard save like that. They've got pistols coming out. I even saw a scout that was no doubt refunded. So they thought about it.
The hero scout. What could have been?
Someone just second-guessed themselves. About to turn, TYLOO into the old me.
So yeah, these pistols are going to be able to do something, though. Out of control yet again established for paiN. Dot them I's, cross those T's. In a round such as this, don't drop too much to the pretty much eco state of TYLOO. Also need to make sure that you're not giving them too much damn respect that they'll claim this round away from you.
This will be down to timing, though. They get spotted out at Hebbett, so can't hold that line. Is Davideus going to get a flash in or something like that?
There's that deagle shot from G, looking for another, not gonna come into play. And this top site has a bit of presence right now from the TYLOO guys as well, so they can start to put up a little bit. Attacker, if he can maybe even see his crosshair, because he's just flashed up, but there's no go time call from paiN. Doesn't matter at the moment now. They start to get in towards the site. The hut situation as well, looking to be spotted on through. You need to get some security now if you're paiN, because the plant needs to come down. The Deagles are doing it, Jim. It's NQZ, and he gets taken down as well. They've done it. paiN took too long.
They took too long, and they faced the fury of TYLOO Deagles. That was just confusion, wasn't it? They were really flustered there. They were being peaked simultaneously from all angles. You had the players just rerouting back through T lobby, putting pressure on that top site. You didn't know which way to look if you were paiN Gaming, and that was just a moment of confusion that resulted in TYLOO capitalizing entirely.
I'm very surprised that they didn't go in when they put their initial set of utility on towards the site. There was nearly everybody on TYLOO blinded when that happened. At least paiN have built up some economy to go at it again in towards this round. Finding an opening kill free of charge onto Jamyoung would be pretty nice for them as well.
Well, Biggie is the lurking threat.
He's just calling everything here.
Yeah.
There is no world in which Jamyoung is expecting Bigger Zero to be in front of this utility. The smoke will fade and he'll have DGT here to at least give a trade if Jamyoung does find one. So no matter which way you slice it, paiN should be finding some little advantage at the current opener. Oh, unless that happens. Jamyoung aware, the AWP of G as well, good for one. TYLOO are getting away with a couple of these situations that they shouldn't be.
Dear me. Couldn't quite get their act together, could they?
No. Now it almost just feels like with 30 seconds to go that paiN are forced to save or try to silently get in towards this top site. Mercury's position in the garage, swinging out when the util comes his way. Clean as you like it. Meanwhile, Davideus does get into the top site, so maybe, just maybe, there is a world in which a 2 versus 5 can happen. 10 seconds, plant goes down.
Well, we're about to see whether or not that world is a possibility. As now it's all on DGT. 41, can't be done from the squeaky door. As they're easily able to close that angle, and TYLOO were just starting to heap on the paiN.
Yeah. Discussions in order now, it feels like, potentially for paiN to figure out what's going wrong on this CT side. On this T side, sorry. We hear in the interview that they'd be a little bit more worried about all of the strategies that you got up your sleeve on the T side for TYLOO. Mate, you're not even there yet. You got to worry about this first half currently, and it's looking a bit flat.
Definitely looking a bit flat. Feeling a bit flat too. I'm just curious too if, like, you know, Bigu's been up since 5 a.m. That's a long time to be awake before your first series.
Yeah, time difference and stuff as well towards it, but it is still, you know, generally a lot of hours, and you've got the jet lag coming in. paiN, also a team that is burning the wick at both ends in all of these tournaments too, right? From one to another.
Well,
so you do have to contend with minimal sleep and getting some, you know, good breakfasts and all that as best as possible.
The longer this series goes, that may come into effect. We'll see. Could be a talking point for later.
Yeah. AWP retrieved. A possibility for some shenanigans afoot. But a lot of damage delivered to paiN already. Dropped down to the B site for a couple of these members of TYLOO. Got some flames to throw in as well.
Just going to make their way in. Smokes to provide the passageway through. Mosaic. That glass is unfortunately not going to be broken for him, but Davideus is ready for attacker, answering the door.
Yeah, plant goes down as well. It becomes a cheeky scenario for paiN to make this workable. Jam Young, the flash to go on in. If he had a molly, he could drop that in towards Dark to at least try and isolate an angle to get in towards this retake. See you later, Mercury. Things start to become a little bit problematic for TYLOO. Jam Young falters as well, so paiN, they have a bit of a recovery state coming in towards this round. They might even do so with 3 alive at the tail end of it, but something tells me that they're going to all hang around to go up with the ship when that bomb explodes.
Yeah, that is a good round. Good reply for paiN. Just keeps TYLOO within, you know, reaching distance.
Yeah.
Honestly, Davideus just looking super solid with that orb. Posted up and
yeah, we've seen
side.
a lot of moments so far where we've got these non-AWPers that just situationally will bring up the weapon and, yeah, just have a little magic touch with it.
Definitely the magic stick, as they would call it, right? Like, I don't know, there's an aura with the AWP. If you're not AWPing, it either goes one of two ways. It either goes terribly, right, or
yep,
you end up AWPing better than the main AWPer. So
yeah, I mean, I was laughing a little bit earlier on where we kept seeing, was it Apex on Inferno? He just tried to keep getting out the AWP as well, putting it to that B site and just kept getting peppered. So that's the other way.
Yeah.
See if paiN can get a little bit closer here now. Timeout goes away. Jam Young hunting for a favorable spot, but he won't be able to do so. DGT claiming the first opener of the round.
It's a good opener to take as well. It really opens up things. A lot of space now being provided. And DGT is very happy to oblige. He's got a lot of information with this push. It's going to be a real problem for TYLOO. And I think everybody else from paiN is just happy to sit back and let this unfold. Yeah, they're going to continue to take territory themselves, but this pinch is coming in.
Glass is open. The problem is the glass is already open. He can get more than one. He's not going to opt to do so. Could have been finding two. Mosaic will get 2 for himself, but he's going to get caught in a reload as well. There's still a lot of time on the clock, but you're cordoning off the rotate that'll come down from Mercury. He is a madman to try and go through those flames now. And he's left it all onto Attacker, who is not going to attack at this retake. He is going to defend his weapon.
Yeah, Mercury didn't want to be caught in that whatsoever. I mean, look, there was probably a safer path to be taken than that, just straight out the vent where you've last seen contact. But, I don't know, just a very strange move to just send it through.
Yeah. I mean, the melting point of mercury is something like negative 40 degrees, but in those flames, that's a bit too hot. He will still not survive. He's even going to be hunted now. He is an attacker. Flashes are coming his way. Will he hold on to the weapon? I mean, they are absolutely bombarding him with flashbangs, and he will not survive.
No survival chances there. And I think
I'm out for TYLOO.
I think it's a much needed timeout, to be honest with you. They need to stabilize their ship. I thought then and there they'd made a critical error, just sending it out with utility. Yeah, there was a great play being made by DGT. He found the first, but they didn't account for the second player being on the line, and that could have honestly gone very, very wrong for paiN. So nonetheless, they recover, they win the round, and they're going to keep peeping some paiN onto to TYLOO. But what's going to change here for TYLOO? What have they discussed in this timeout? I think as far as they're concerned, they did actually find a lot of success with the lobby crunches and just trying to be a little bit more aggressive and not letting paiN settle into the early stages of the round. Maybe we're going to see something like that.
Oh, well, there's a lot of prize put on Mercury's shoulders here at the moment with this A1S. And unfortunately, he's just being taken out, but not before G. Immediate weight being found in this server for paiN Gaming, trying to equalize the scoreline. And it's just looking a little bit too easy for them at the moment, though, if you give a orb over towards TYLOO. Could be put to good use. Probably not in this round, but we'll have to wait and see. Reposition now for Jamyoung, but likewise Davideus will have the chance to get towards this top site to have a little bit more visibility on what's going on.
No visibility allowed for Jamyoung. Attacker just biding his time with that CZ. Might be able to get away with this. Just keeping that CZ dream alive.
That's not the weapon that you want for a distance fight like that. Let's put it that way. Tied up scoreline now. Opportunity for paiN to take the lead. Bit of a slower start. And they start to make the tail end of this half work better.
Well, they're now in a scenario that they were very, very much, you know, I didn't think it was a possibility for them based on the early stages of the round. But I mean, look, these two teams, I actually think they are quite evenly matched, and I think this scoreline kind of reflects that. So
yeah,
he's going to be making that first move. DGT doesn't even need a flash. He's just able to dry peek into topside and get that peek. Jamyoung does find one and keeps secret in the hands of TYLOO, but it really is just this poking and this prodding at different choke points from these two teams that, I don't know, it's very scrappy Counter-Strike. But both of these teams, I don't know, TYLOO is very comfortable playing in this type of scenario.
The problem is, though, Jim, this smoke is about to fade, and Mosaic might get caught out. There's some mollies that can push him out of this position as well. They start to come on in for this execute. There's the flames. Mosaic needs some assistance. He's just burning, and it will be the molly that'll get the job done. Now Mercury, 30 seconds, need to cause a ruckus at this top site. The dance around the site, and he can't get anything done, but it takes it away from Jamyoung, who finds two. And now G in the 1 versus 2. Does he have a hand in this one or not with the AWP?
Yeah, I think the fact that the bomb is just going down and the Molotov has perished might be helpful for him, but he's got to react, and he does.
Oh, a nice try at the end of that one. He was low. Gets tagged up. Davideus low as well, but he'll win that verticality duel. paiN will take the lead. But remember, it was the T side for paiN against Spirit that they ended 8-4, and they still weren't able to close out the map when they got to 11. So you almost feel like they do need to give themselves some more space coming in towards this next round to find the 7th.
Well, I think Z is just happy to take his own amount of space. Just sending it to the end of that. Oh, that's a great pick on G2. G not able to react.
Oh, and now the waterfall smoke onto the Annex too. What are you going to be able to do with Snow? You're just going to sit pretty for a second and then look to wrap around once more. This heaven position has always been vulnerable for TYLOO. There's no one there to safeguard it this time. Attacker on this top site is going to be in for a pretty rude awakening.
I'll see how rude it is. Molotov is the first sign.
Yep.
Seems a little unfazed, but he gets out.
There was a thought from Mosaic as well, by the way, to wrap back around towards the ladder too and shimmy on up, but he's thought better of it and gone with his team instead for the lobby wrap around. Meanwhile, now Mercury going to be held at bay in the vent, so the bomb plant will go down. paiN will have 5 to hold.
TYLOO have got to really regroup here.
Yep, Molly and HE straight in towards DGT, but it's Big Uzira start to bring in some action to the party. Davideus getting peppered on down. Time is of the essence for TYLOO to get in towards this retake at the moment. The damage starts to come on through. There's no kits in possession though, Jim. That's the problem at the moment that I'm seeing right now. It doesn't matter that they're getting these kills. NQZ only needs to find the one on the defuser, brings out the sidearm, and that will be the round there and done. 5-7. TYLOO trail as paiN will take the lead for the half switch. Well, decently halftime score line between TYLOO and paiN for this elimination game here to round out the evening in IEM Chengdu. paiN, a bit of a slow start. They make the comeback known, but now they switch over to the side that they had the struggles on yesterday versus Spirit.
Yeah, hopefully those struggles don't continue. Well, they struggle to get down that vent. Big Zero's just made an absolute mess of TYLOO.
I have seen
them.
Too many vent drop attempts results where one player at the front doesn't get down first and everyone dies because of it.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
You're not just venting here, are you?
I am.
Real thing. Okay. They've just... Say Big Zero made an absolute mess of them. He completely halts that player. Just bullet tags him. Stops him from getting into the vent. Everybody else suffers as a result.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I think just seeing that's triggered you.
Me? Or the team?
You.
Me? Yeah. I mean, it's an attempted pistol strategy for the ages on this map, the old vent drop. But sometimes it always has a bit of fun with it. Sometimes you get players that miss the vent and somehow end up in Annex.
Yeah.
That's always fun. The wall of smokes, though. Attacker shall not pass go and collect his $200. He technically will in death, but anyway.
Nothing in this round, though. Just by Snow. This could be a nice meaty grenade. Ooh.
Add a little bit of sauce to it as well, and they're just going to get fuddled into the crosshair of DGT as well, who's going to rack up some more digits in the server. Likewise of Snow, someone that we've been promised to deliver a performance. We've been kind of waiting for it. All 5 alive yet again for paiN. Swift start to this CT side.
Yeah, very swift start, and you know, I think that helps when you've got a very fast pistol round coming through. But they made relatively light work of TYLOO in this round. It's even better when you just don't concede anything on that CT side. Just keeps it nice and clean. paiN's starting to streak away. And look, there's pistols. Okay, they've got 2 deagles, but they shouldn't be dropping this round if you're paiN.
No. It's just deagles in a dream for TYLOO right now. And another situation where you're hoping for paiN to sort of slip up. Like they did on the T side when we were at a similar juncture. But this one has a different feeling around it. As long as you're paiN and you're not really misstepping too much, you've got some just decent timing on your utility. You don't need to be, you know, one of the best teams in the world to navigate around such as this.
No. This should be relatively, you know, an open and shut case. But I think if anything, if you're TYLOO, you're probably taking the time to just sort of also talk things out potentially for the next round as well. They've got very deep set players, TYLOO.
Yeah. Well, Snow. Oh, maybe it's Big Zero. And the rest of the team can all just do it. Another 5 alive for paiN. We've kind of just been waiting for it now to see what the guns are going to be presentable for TYLOO and see what Big Zero's thoughts will eventuate to into the server, right? Expecting TYLOO to come out with different strategies on T side, B sharp players as well. Are they present today with that?
Well, I think more so too, like it highlights that they're a very difficult team to read. Whether or not they're, you know, just off the cuff or they actually are genuine strategies, I think that, you know, it really does catch a lot of teams off guard. NKZ's been able to navigate his way through the secret. That could be rather problematic here unless Mercury can nullify that threat.
Well, he's getting a little bit close to the spot of NKZ, isn't he? And he's just not having the crosshair at the right spot at all. That is a bit of a worrisome opener for TYLOO in their first buy round. DGT now getting a little bit of pressure towards him over at the ramp. An exchange in the top site as well. But still having a bit of a grasp on this round is paiN.
DGT looking to just delay as much as he can. He now has NQZ in tow, but he is going to be smoked off. So still isolated, looking to have impact. And he does actually repel TYLOO from making entry into the site. And that's allowed another rotator to come through.
And it's not going to do too much, is it? G, an attacker stretching out in towards the site. Now Big Uzira has to come out with another multi-frag to get this round, perhaps. Davideus to wrap around the decon too. But his position is not yet known, so he plays on the element of surprise as attacker walks into the crosshairs of Big Uzira. Now the last lone soldier of TYLOO has been noted and cannot find anything either. paiN Gaming so far running amok on this CT side.
Yeah, there's just nothing you can do in that situation when you're G. There's just, you know, as soon as the aggression's taken on one angle, you're going to have to be facing on another. I thought, you know, DGT had done a great job. It allowed Big Uzira just to get into that position and help rotate and secure the site from those doors. Had he been a little bit further out, had he been not able to, you know, get into the site like that, would have been a different story. TYLOO had the numbers, they had the positioning to overwhelm, and they're actually taking that second tactical timeout to try and get the result that's needed. Otherwise, you know, they're facing match point in the first map in this series. This is, as we said, it's an elimination series, right? Like, this is home turf for them. They don't want to be eliminated early in their hometown tournament.
It just feels like at any turning point, TYLOO are not able to just have a little bit of time to breathe in these rounds as well, right? They are really just getting peppered by positions of paiN, no matter where they try to go on the map. And I'll even just disregard the point that the opening kills are generally going in the favor of paiN. Again, there's another one in this eco round of TYLOO's just not able to get out of the squeaky door, bar one player in Mosaic, who does have the bomb, and he can get the plant down on that B site, but is it going to have any result? It'll be a 1 versus 5 for him currently down here, as Chi is just on the other side of the map, still at the top site. And there's not really a way that he's going to get down into here because Snow is watching him. So there's a plant for TYLOO, but that is it.
Yeah, look, you highlighted him in the pre-match as one of the players to watch because he had such a tough time against Spirit, who is, you know, obviously a different caliber of opposition to what TYLOO are presenting right now. But this is a match for him to find his comfort. And he's looking at doing so. Like, he's had a lot of impact, particularly in these last sort of 4 rounds. And if he can continue that, it's going to be a really tough series for TYLOO because you've got these, you know, you've got NQZ who's really starting to, you know, stamp his mark on this series. You've got...
Oh, it's happened again. You just can't drop a smoke down outside the squeaky door. It is not the be-all and end-all safety situation for you. You will die.
Jam Young just given away cheaply in that instance. But yeah, you've also got Big Uzira who's you know, putting some decent numbers up too. So yeah, like paiN are firing on I dare say all 5 cylinders at the moment.
Yeah, well, speaking of 5, we've got Snow, Big Uzira, and NQZ, who have 5 rounds each at putting up more than 2 kills, right? They are always getting multi-frags. Meanwhile, for TYLOO, there is only Mosaic who has been able to really put up any consistent numbers so far. It is just paiN finding openers, paiN finding multis, and it might just happen again here to close the map. Snow good for 3 so far. Does get traded. So it's G and Mercury to see if they're going to be able to bring something back. Down towards the lower site once more with the bomb. But is that going to be where you want to end? Because you have just separated yourself from Mercury. And DGT does not care. He's still going to hang around. Did he spot the head of G or not? I don't think he has just yet. Try to translate the aim on towards Mercury. But with 15 seconds to go, you still need to try and get the plant. There'll be a little reprieve to do so now.
Biggie's just going to try and find his time. He doesn't get out the vent though. Gets tripped up. And now NQZ might be able to catch some timing here in T mid. But there's nothing really he can do about that angle.
And then there was one. TYLOO get an attacking round on the board. But at the nth hour, how much can they recognize here to keep that rolling to try and push us into an overtime? You would expect it to be quite difficult. There's still buys on buys for paiN to come. 6 chances now to try and close for the CTs.
Plenty of bites of the cherry. Wall of smoke does go down outside. It's like nice deep wall of smoke too. Stops the Molotov from being super effective, but there is that slight gap.
Yeah.
Has appeared. There we go.
Ooh, flash.
He's got to get out of there.
It's a good flash, but it's better from NQZ. Gets one on a Mosaic. Mercury, meanwhile, to bigger 0. So we start to see casualties on both sides on this round. DGT laying down the law on this lower site. You're going to have to dig hugely here for Jam Young to close something and bring it back, but it's not possible. 13-6. Very clean this time around from paiN to close out this map of a nuke, despite yesterday not being able to do so. They will lead 1-0 now in this series in the elimination style.
Yeah, this is exactly...
But they're immediately, going into an area where Astralis is there, Liquid's there, Na'Vi, who just got eliminated, is there. You got some other teams. So it's like there's going to be some battles in that stage that they can potentially maybe win and topple. But then you also got to remember there's going to be those 8 teams that'll come up from stage 1 who will be ripe and ready to take your head off your shoulders. And you're already finding some struggles right now against paiN, so we definitely need to turn our heads towards TYLOO on this map of Inferno to see if they can send this series to a third.
Well, let's just see how they begin this torrid affair. Big on point. Let's make slight contact there. And they are going to press. This is going to be impressive from TYLOO. They do net Davideus. He was on his lonesome, had no support whatsoever. So back down Banana after claiming their first scalp.
Well, coming over towards this A site right now as well. Yes, you found the opening player, but DGT is going to take the first fight, and Mosaic will find that NQZ. They overlook him at the moment. The dualies, they start to ring out a little bit, but it's just him. The rest of his team smoked on off and kept in a little bit of a predicament as well from Mercury, who will retreat to the site.
Yeah, very bottled up in this site, though, for TYLOO. It's going to be difficult for paiN to try and dissect this as the clock really starts to tick away. No kit is a real problem.
Yep.
And exits might be the only thing on the cards.
Yeah, legitimately, that's what they have to switch towards. Pretty early call as well. Quick shooting from TYLOO. They'll look to hold on to what they can at the tail end of this one as well. You'd assume Big Uzira and Snow, well, everyone keeping them in check. All will fall on the side of TYLOO. 2 will survive for paiN, but they don't get the round.
I reckon NQZ gets like a solid 8 out of 10 for that backflip. Right to the bomb. It wasn't really...
seen some fun ragdoll moments at time. I remember the ones that used to get sent to the moon when it explodes. Those were always funny ones.
I reckon the ragdolls are just 10 times funnier than they were 5 years ago, which is great for me.
Yeah.
But there was no funny business whatsoever for TYLOO in that last round. They just steamrolled over the top of paiN. And Jam once again on point.
I believe that was a decoy thrown by Big Uzira, and he's got the FAMAS. So the awareness level of TYLOO now, they've been gifted some free info that the weapon is in play. Like the double stack, make that a triple stack over towards ye old diggity, and they're gonna go dry with no flashes. That's your teammate NQZ. Now you're the only one here to potentially be overwhelmed by the forces of TYLOO. You find one, and Mosaic comes in flying right at you. This might just be another scenario where you have no business getting in towards this A site.
Yeah, just unfortunate team kill. Just swings that pendulum in favour of TYLOO, and they're off to a really fast and furious start so far. on Inferno. I do like the conviction with which they are hitting these bomb sites. Big is hanging around Library, but I was going to say, I don't think the prospects of even getting exits are, worth risking your famous for.
Gotta remember though, Jim, there was a good start for TYLOO's escapades over on Nuke.
Yeah, but this is their map pick. And, Asian Counter-Strike on Inferno.
Yep, so they do.
Time.
we live and breathe it. Even in OCE, of course. Map that always tries to get pushed through. I'm surprised we've dodged a lot of dust too, to be fair with you.
Yeah, it's normally a staple in our region, but also dodged a lot of Mirage too.
This is very true. TYLOO, the chance now to further extend this lead. The utility going on down for the bit of banana control, where Snow is gonna maybe make a meal out of this one. 2 on the board. Can he get out, or does he hang around? The utility is not working out for TYLOO, that they're laying down towards him, and that is going to settle in some good favor for paiN.
Snow is just skied in and out. Managed to pick up 2. What do you do there if you're TYLOO, right? Like, you've just been slammed.
It's one of those situations where it is what it is.
I don't think that's going to be good enough in the debrief, though.
Probably not, especially if you get eliminated and drop this map. These are the things that you can't really afford to have happen. Going into the major, going into an event just before it that'll actually remove your time for the pure prep, right?
Well, Snow is above.
And they did. Oh, how has he missed it? He gets the earlier 2. That one should have been a freebie. And now there's an opportunity for TYLOO to get this bomb plant down. Biguzira going to stop that, however. 20 seconds to go. The cavalry starting to come up from paiN as well. 3 through banana. And they're not even watching that at the moment. Davideus to close.
That's a really solid way to finish the round. Biguzira with the round-winning play, in my opinion. Just preventing that bomb plant and angular rotation coming through. Right, Snow. Do you know what his problem was? He wasn't moving. That's why he didn't get the kill with the SMG.
Ah, right.
If he was moving.
It's not just the crosshair wasn't on the mate's head, right?
No. You're clearly more accurate with an SMG when you're moving.
Yeah. Yes.
Take that note, future pros.
Hunger. paiN. Looking for the first frag down banana. Not going to be giving it. Or will they?
Well, I mean, Biggie's not content with what he sees.
He's certainly getting hungry for it, though. The util goes deeper. Isolate the boys over on the TYLOO side. Biguzira just needs to be quite careful here. But no one revealing themselves on TYLOO. Trying to play with the little stalking element. Now spotted.
Yeah, doesn't want to give himself away cheaply. So banana control going the way of TYLOO. What I am looking for here, though, is what utility is really remaining on the CT side as they hit B.
Oh.
Really much to work with.
Who? Someone missed a smoke over on TYLOO. Give him a slap on the wrist, because right now there's a gap on the site. They need to bunker down. Jam Young, good for a double. Pilfers that AK as well. So TYLOO can situate themselves in a post plant.
The retake is certainly on. Full belts of util for coming through for Davideus, so let's just see what they are able to dissect. Playing that double emo spot, except the player on the boxes there is going to be troubled by Davideus. He doesn't get the frag that he needs, though.
Unfortunately not. Jam Young on a DGT2. Now it's just the Orpa and NQC, and this is going to be a hunt for TYLOO. You know they want to remove this weapon. You know that they've got the round, but the damage is being decisive. This was a force-up at the end of the day for TYLOO. They will claim the rounds. They try to make it more expensive for paiN, as NQC will hold on to the AWP, get a bit of better stats in there. Nevertheless, TYLOO's round.
Yeah, they were really trying to hang around and make him pay. Hopefully, do enough damage maybe to get him, vulnerable to the bomb radius, but it wasn't to be. Yeah, the force buy coming through. I don't know, if you're paiN, you just can't let rounds like that slip through your fingers.
Yeah, should have been an equalization point right now. You'd be looking to regain the lead in the series. You'll find an opener though, free of charge. No respect given to any top mid utility. It's not even thrown this time for TYLOO to permit progression and explore the apartments, which is what Mosaic is going to look to do at the moment, being kept at bay in the old freezer side. And for those that don't know what freezer is, it's the side that is opposite boiler.
My powers of deduction.
Yep.
Allowed me to make that inference. Well, the AWP's already doing a great job of having impact. This Mac 10 though.
Okay, more.
Let's see whether or not it's effective. That Molotov is actually really troublesome.
Yeah, it has to drop your own smoke as TYLOO to try and help yourselves out. Even blinded NQZ gets another one. This is looking a little bit better of a B hold right now. Now, G. Can you do it? Can you get a 1 versus 4? He's running on it snow. And he just can't even find the first.
Yeah. I wonder if they recovered that AWP, actually. I think they would have.
I assume so. It's very close.
It was relatively close. Did go down.
An AWP's Paradise. An AWP's Paradise, a map like Inferno, if you can get it rolling as well, right? You need to start to play a little bit slower on the T side, get those smokes down, get the perfect pop flashes out, and play with the timing. Does your opponent immediately fall off, or do they shoot?
It's more difficult, obviously, on the T side to get that AWP going, right? Like, only if you're able to isolate players that are peaking is that AWP effective. Otherwise, you've really got to try and force yourself onto the lines, take the aggro. Not a lot of aggressive T-AWPers.
Ooh, that is a good flash from Mercury. Meanwhile, paiN opted not to bring the AWP into this round, knowing that, it'll be the lesser buy from TYLOO, but full going it anyways. Now these pistols could certainly do some damage here. Mercury caught with util in hand. G didn't get the memo that the space was now occupied by Davideus. Meanwhile, the A site, the attempt right now at the plant going on down, so that will come into play for TYLOO. Swift blow on towards attacker. Davideus is just looking to do absolutely everything in this round. Looking for the 5k, will run out of ammo at the end. You hate to see that, as now Jam Young will have his hand and also returning with a 5k, if at all possible. 4 HP, peppered through the boxes. The Molotov inconsequential at the end of the round. Attempts had, but paiN will equalize.
Yeah, look, it ended up being quite an expensive round for paiN, but the money is really good for them, so it's not really too much of an issue. However, Davideus had done all the legwork in that round, just undone by only having 5 bullets in the clip to try and kill the last remaining player on TYLOO. That was sharp in the side. Attacker just gets deleted.
You kind of really want to see him actually get that there as well, because it's not like it was just everyone lining up on a little landing eco, right? There was actually lots of different positions, really good positions from Davideus himself to try and isolate those duels too. Now it's just back to these pistols again for TYLOO, but down Banana, well, they might actually be given an opportunity to find some damage.
Yeah, there's no such thing as just pistols when you're coming up against TYLOO.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Well, we'll see if Big Azirus... Okay, is he going to get too big for his boots?
Maybe they're all around the corner. The flash comes on in. If they can get the trades, they can start to get in. But do they expect the third in Snow to be here? The jump on up towards Oranges will be there, and Snow has just read them. He's getting a multi-frag now in towards the round and looking for the closure. It won't happen. Mercury has some time here to try and piece something together, but Davideus is going to be there for the close. That's the one he was missing in the previous round.
The concerning thing for me is the fact that TYLOO are getting a lot, of frags towards the end of the round. Like there is, look, they're not doing enough to win the round, but what they're doing is keeping the economy of paiN quite honest.
I mean, look at
the fact that they've been stringing rounds together. It hasn't, ballooned their economy. They're still losing, players hand over fist.
Yeah, look at it, right? 1,000 to 2,000 for the lion's share of the paiN members. You've just got DGT up towards 5,000, which he'll be able to get out the AWP again if there's any hazard that occurs for them. There's going to be a double play, by the way, for this one for paiN too. It can definitely get the better of TYLOO after a timeout comes into play. Whilst you call a timeout yourselves to resituate yourselves as TYLOO, you give your opponents time to talk and adjust as well. We'll see who this better comes out for.
I mean, the fact that TYLOO are only stringing buys together that involve Galils doesn't really speak volumes to the amount of force buys and the success they're having as a result.
It is Inferno as well. You gotta have that priority on the utility. Oh, that is such a big duel to win for Mosaic as well. Davideus down. Brackets control found for TYLOO. They now have options.
NQZ just going to pick up that first player, tiptoeing through carpets. Just waiting for that smoke to go down. Actually, he's going to force that player that is sitting at library. It's going to force Snow to have to either check the smoke or rotate back and watch the arch, effectively pulling him off the site. And if they show some presence towards B and Banana, well, that starts to tie players up here for paiN.
Ooh.
That's a great smoke, though. That really puts it
timing on the smoke actually upsets TYLOO a little bit. They have a false sense of security, you'd assume, as well. We're seeing that AWP over towards the B site. They don't want to one-dimensionally go back over there. Little do they know, the main AWPer is still over here in the pit. NQZ will dispatch of G. Now the time is starting to really become an issue for TYLOO to get on in. There is just little to nothing that they can do to get back in towards this round. You'd assume Snow will find Jam Young, and the attempt to flick on a Mercury won't happen, where he might have some damage, Jim, but they will not have the round. The AWP will be translated to the next one. No, won't. Oh, he gets Kobe'd out. Oh, you hate to see that if you're a TYLOO fan, but for paiN, that is gorgeous.
Oh, that is a perler. Just collects him after the timer. No AWP for you. No money for you.
And that's after a timeout, by the way.
Yeah.
It has not come into good favor whatsoever for TYLOO. They deploy another one.
So they're really trying to push the envelope with their economy as well, right? Like, they only had Galils in order to try and give themselves the best amount of utility as possible. I think it's a really rough drop now for TYLOO on the back of this. They've taken another tactical timeout. Like, what are they going to do? Where are they going to go to with this? I think paiN have really started to get their act together. But that being said, their economy's not rock solid either.
Yeah.
It's very susceptible. And now that they've whittled down their loss bonus, even more susceptible. Sus, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, we'll use sus as the word.
Sus.
Back to the pistols for TYLOO. Even on the rifle rounds, good decisions being made by paiN. Need to see a different look for the home squad right now of TYLOO. Good timing on the molly from Davideus. Got to stop any play towards this A site for now. Flash starts to come on over NQC. He's charging down mid. He might not even be needed for this round because everybody is just falling head over heels out of balcony. They don't even get through. And now that flank will start to play favor for paiN. Aware is Mercury. Can't do anything. And even if G waltz back around through the T stairs, well, NQZ is already, I was going to say on the line. He's dead and the AWP is retrieved.
Well, I mean, G could try and escape up. But he's got to stop in smoke.
I would have seen better favor from a no-scope with how many of them that we've seen be successful. Unlucky.
Well, he didn't quite get away with what he wanted to there, G. And as cheerful as he is, I'm sure he's disappointed with that.
Opportunity for paiN to have a really sensational half here as well in this map. For TYLOO, need to start to turn things around right now in this attacking T endeavor. Because they really have not been attacking at all against paiN, have they? They have just been stopped at every turning point. And even in their own protective affairs as well. It's just not been successful. T-side util can get you up towards banana, but you're still being held at bay currently. I love this double stack too, by the way. This is cheeky.
Yeah. This is a dirty little stack. Well,
what do you do now with the opening advantage of paiN? You sit. Because you know in these situations, TYLOO's conversion rate in the 4 versus 5s doesn't look too good.
Yeah, that's the painful reality. So I've got to try and put that square peg into the round hole. That round hole.
Oh, Snow has just absolutely hook, line, and sinkered them. He might even end with the 4K. Jam Young just going to be seen before he can even get that crosshair anywhere in the realm of possibility. 5 alive. paiN going strong.
Yeah, definitely a strong surgence of rounds. And man, Snow has really blossomed in this series, hasn't he? Definitely found it more comfortable than the Spirit matchup, that's for sure. But TYLOO just seemingly not dealing with him either. Like he's been able to find himself in really good positions, and quite honestly, it's his positioning and timing that is the most devastating to TYLOO right now. Nice little boost over the smoke. They're going to be aware. I don't know, but
ooh, there could have been some timing for Mosaic.
Yeah, for Mosaic in second mid that could have really undone things.
Unfortunately for TYLOO, if they want to just bully their way through it, they're going to have to drop some util and try to steamroll Snow. It'll command a little bit of respect. You start to see the bodies going up through banana. It pushes them right back. But eventually the dust will settle. And paiN will just reassess the situation again.
Yeah, unfortunately for them too, like, the reassessment is okay, there you go. You take that smoke, you take that flash. We're going to just reassess things with you.
Hey, go sell a fake for me so we can try to get in with a better favorable duel, yeah? So I feel like TYLOO are being read time and time again. They're going to try and stretch a bit of an apartment spot once more. So we'll see if it does a bit better for them.
Yeah, deep set smokes will set that up nicely. Ooh.
Hold. Davideus does get taken down. The AWP of NQZ is pushed out of vision, so maybe there is an opportunity here.
Well, this is honestly not the situation that paiN wanted to be in, obviously having to retake A. And I think Jam Young timing is going to be a real factor. As the aggro is taken, Snow should be converted here. Well, This is an interesting duel. Jam Young has done the bulk of the dirty work. And Big Zero, there's nothing he can do. He was hoping that his players deployed through short were going to be effective in that retake. But, I don't know. Those are the kind of moments where Jam Young shines.
Yep. Big Zero, no one's hanging around. You need to skedaddle, mate, which you'll do. That is, honestly, not a repeatable round to really come through from TYLOO, but my oh my, was it a needed one.
100% needed. This is... oh. This pursuit of Jam Young in window room there, just filth.
I mean, you want to talk about the pursuit of something. It feels like we need the a bit of pursuit of happiness at the moment for CN teams at CN events, right? Because we've not really had too much success historically. Envision, TYLOO, Steel Helmet, Rare Atom, throwing it all back. We're not really getting deep in these tournaments. You want to see some differences come into here. Maybe Envision can do it. They've already got a win up their sleeve. Maybe TYLOO can turn around this series, but from what we're seeing so far, quite difficult.
Yeah, they're able to chip away at some of these rounds, though, and I think that, you know, despite the fact that paiN are really quite dominant in this half so far, they have just done enough, you know, chip damage to etch themselves out a few rounds and keep themselves in the contest. I mean, if the rounds have gone the way that they should have, you would say that paiN would probably comfortably have, you know, 9 rounds in this half so far, and it'd be a totally different story. But TYLOO have just been, I don't know, really quite pestering in the way that they've played. Enough to just carve out 4.
Mosier was finding all the frags in the last map. You've got Silence from G and Attacker. Meanwhile, you've got Snow going 19 and 5. NQZ going 15 and 7. Looking for some more now in this round, but he will get overwhelmed. Okay, maybe all we needed was for me to put some slander on towards these TYLOO names, and they can get something done. Flash in towards Snow's face. Doesn't get things situated favorably for him. And now the bomb plant can go down. I look towards Big Zero, by the way. Literally on the other side of the map. He has to run a marathon to get over here because it is the last round of the half.
Yeah. Oh, okay. DGT, unfortunately, the smoke reveals his position. And it fades now. Davideus has got a lot of work to do.
Yep.
Big Azir is going to hope to try and catch one of the swinging tees. But honestly, a lot resting on Davideus' shoulders right now. TYLOO just have to sit and wait. And they don't have to move. It is very simple for them to finish that half.
A little light recovery for TYLOO at the tail end of that T-side half, but is it going to be enough to get them well situated to come back in this map and then this series as well, because elimination is on the line for the loser of this one.
Yeah, that's exactly the grim reality that they are facing if they do lose this half, TYLOO. So, you know, you don't want to be eliminated early on in the piece in your hometown tournament. So hopefully they can string some rounds together just like they did at the tail end of this first half. But paiN also finding themselves, you know, they don't want to go home either. So
yeah,
unfortunately, we've already said goodbye to two heavy hitters in this tournament so far. Both FaZe meeting that end, and Na'Vi also meeting that end too. So we'll definitely be sending another one home after this.
Yeah.
However, can Mercury do something about it? This is a great A-side hold. They're going to run on in, but they do eventually get overwhelmed.
Yeah, and Mercury, he's trying to skedaddle out of this one too to put these dualies to good use. And the respect from paiN is going to be, well, just don't give him the fight that he's so desperately looking for. Get your eyes on the prize. Get the plant down. 4 versus 3. paiN only have a couple of angles that they really need to look at right now. The shots to come out from the CT side. Jam Young needs absolutely everything potentially, but Mercury comes on in, and it's DGT who's just going to sneak his way to the pit. Someone has called for Mercury that he's over there, and the dualies will get the job done. TYLOO will answer back with the pistol. It was sorely needed to start off this CT side.
I thought they were done and dusted, right? Like they'd been overwhelmed in that site, but it was a smart move from Mercury to try not to face and just wait for the retake to come on in as they regroup. And, well, they made it work. They made light work, actually, of the players in the side. Jam Young just really showing his skills there. Able to pick off 2, but Mercury, star of the show, those Julies were singing. And it brings TYLOO back within striking distance. Forced by coming out from paiN, and why not? But let's just see whether or not they've got the you know, the right tools to be able to fashion themselves this round. They've got those Tech 9s and the Mac 10s, as well as the TYLOO. They're going to be given an open opportunity early on to try and thin the numbers of paiN, or TYLOO, sorry.
Well, either which way, there is a force-up of paiN here, right? And they're posturing for a bit of a brackets pop right now. They start to come on out. Snow's blinded to lead the charge and force back a little bit of security into the site for TYLOO. But is it going to be a safe pair of hands in Mercury or not? He's getting overwhelmed, mollied down. This force-up is looking pretty problematic now. TYLOO immediately forced to opt for a save.
Yeah, there's nothing the 2 B players can do in that scenario. Just too quick on the trigger, paiN. And look, like I said, it's one thing to underestimate the force buy in the second round, but paiN have actually done that already in the series. They've shown that they're quite, you know, happy to take that sort of risk if they lose the pistol. And this time it really does pay dividends for them. They actually still maintain, you know, that 2-round deficit. And that's exactly, I don't know. I don't know how many rounds you need to get ahead of TYLOO to be comfortable. But yeah, this really does go a long way. You know, obviously keeping that CT economy quite low throughout the half can really bolster your chances. So,
well, I think
trying to factor out the opposition.
I think this is going to be a really good boon for someone like Snow as well, right? We highlighted him in the graphics a little bit earlier, as since we've seen paiN change a couple of these roles in this roster, he's had a little bit of a downward performance, but the fact that he's really starting to step up and find some comfort now on this stage, is he really going to be able to actually continue to roll with this one?
Well, yeah. It's you know, a question of attrition.
Maybe we need to ask what his nutrition schedule is.
Attrition.
What do you have for breakfast, mate? Yeah. 21 and 7. Putting up some big boy numbers here.
Well, I mean, what he's eating for breakfast at the moment is his opposition. He's eating TYLOO for breakfast.
Yeah, breakfast at dinner time. Certainly,
honestly, the best dessert is cereal.
Certainly something. Yeah, yeah. turning into a bit of a serial killer at the moment, though, in the server. We'll see with 1 minute to go if paiN are going to fall into any traps of TYLOO over at this B site at the moment. They've got the force up, of course. Grenades to Jam Young would soften him up quite swiftly. 38 on the tail end of it.
Nice waterfall smoke coming through. Now, this one rifle that they do have, they're going to be walking straight into this site. Mosaic, he's going to try and play ring around the rosy, and he's actually got Jam Young there supporting him quite nicely. He's going to stand it straight to the smoke. This is working. How? He's got two in the chamber and he makes it work.
How is the right question, I think, there. He's standard and delivered very, very nicely. Something that needed to come on out from somebody on this TYLOO side. Timing a bit of a virtue there when paiN kind of reveal where they're looking to end the situation. And they'll keep things interesting here. Oh, I gotta say though, TYLOO and lesser weapons just looks better.
Why do they even bother going to like the full extent of a gun round? Could they not just infinitely buy if they only ever got to the force buy inventory? I mean, they definitely have tried that at multiple points. I don't want to tempt them back into that arc.
That is very 2021 of you, Jim.
Well, yeah, everything's cyclical, isn't it?
Yeah. Back of the smoke, though, right now. Davideus copping a Granada to the body. Jam Young, though, expecting that one to come through. So nicely done for TYLOO for the beginning stages on this CT side now. Ouch.
That's a roughie.
And the problem is now as well, TYLOO have reinforced this A site. Just feels nigh impossible that you can get anywhere around the map as paiN because you've got no access to flashbangs, 2 smokes and a molly is all you got. You either bully your way in towards this B site or you save.
Yeah, I think they're just going to try and play the percentages, right? Try and take the 4v2 in the B site and hope that they can get on in. Mosaic is just going to pop that little flash in. That's going to be problematic because he's going to peek on the back of it. Jam Young now also chiming in for his share. And they're just getting stopped. They're not even going to get in. They've had their passport checked. They've been denied entry.
Yeah, Mr. Mosaic putting up the numbers yet again with some multi-frags. Something that was a bit of a common occurrence over on Nuke despite the smacking that they got at the end of the day on that one. Good little bait and switch pop flash plays to come out from TYLOO at the end there as well, which is starting to get a bit of a problem for paiN in my mind. Taking these rounds a little bit lackadaisical, a little bit too slow. It's time to turn up that dial a little bit, perhaps.
Well, how much do you want to turn it up?
211.
Locks. 211. Well, before they can go to 11, they've got to go to 9.
Or they have to go to night. Because the brackets pop at the moment with just the Glocks is going to be all they have available to them. And TYLOO with the fading util will just opt to play the better longer lines with these AKs. So we'll see how much they can get. Some good spray control from G before hitting the tail end of that one. And Mercury will do the same. 3 and 2 makes a full house for TYLOO to take the lead. They sweep it nicely.
Just in time. They've, been behind. Probably far too long in their minds in this matchup. Just, I don't know, when you see like AK spray like that just slowed down, it just looks so messy. But in reality, it's like actually relatively well controlled.
Yeah, that was the number, by the way, that TYLOO are chasing right now. 10. They definitely want to try and push us into the third decider for Mirage. They do not want to go out of IEM Chengdu without really close performances, at least.
I definitely want to give a good account of themselves. Okay, that Molotov could be problematic. It's going to spread. Nope, just stays alive.
Gone are the days of the spreading mollies, Jim. Now we know that our mollies stay put when they land on the floor. Speaking of Big Zero, well, he'll just get put on the floor there as well. First casualty, not successive in the fragging department on this map. And that's some good smoke timing as well to cordon off what DGT might look to do over at the apartments. A 1-to-1 trade, a great shot from G. And now we start to look to TYLOO to have a firm idea on what they want to do on the CT side of Inferno. Just DGT. And there is no way that he's going to come out of something here. Mid on lock as well from Jamyoung. G looking for the multi. He'll get removed. So there's some damage at least here for DGT. But it's not really going to look to be anything too hot.
Okay.
Oh, hang on. 20 seconds. But he needs the bomb.
He's just looking to go and try and do as much damage as possible. Possibly even die. Okay, Mosaic's just timed it very nicely.
Yeah. Nicely done for TYLOO. A little bit of damage at the end there, but the money still builds up nicely for yourselves anyways.
What it does do is it takes 3 guns out of the CT economy. And so it forces them to put their thinking caps on into this next round. Now, paiN don't want to let this spiral out of control, right? Don't get me wrong, it's not a particularly strong map for either of these 2 teams if you look at it statistically. Despite the fact that TYLOO do like to pick into it, it's not a huge win percentage for them. So keep that in mind as to whether or not they're able to close this out. But I mean, paiN, yeah, their win percentage is slightly better despite having less reps on it. But they're still not in like a, you know, a strong win percentage territory.
Yeah. The times that they are getting the wins, you know, you would assume that they're the ones that you should be getting in your official playgrounds and your CAC against Fluxo. But when you're losing this map, it's against Legacy, Falcons, Furia. Some big names there.
Precisely.
Might be adding TYLOO to that list of L's in this one soon. Smokes fade. paiN around the corner of Mosaic, pushed nice and deep down Banana.
DGT just looking to open things up towards the A site. Hopefully, you know, create some space for his teammates.
Now, space
they're very happy to
what
sit.
they need.
I was going to say, they're very happy to sit on the other end of those smokes and just wait, Tyler. They're actually playing very patiently.
Well, running on up. And unfortunately for NQZ, kneecapped by G. The B site play, you're already first found out by Mosaic. And he's just called for a little bit of assistance from Jamyoung as well. They've been holding on to some pieces of utility nicely. TYLOO so far around this B site, and whilst paiN go a little bit quiet, they will now start to awaken in towards this B site. The sprays start to look a little bit more awkward for Mosaic. The B site's now open, folks. 3 versus 3. Some guns to be stolen. Not like this, TYLOO. Not like this.
Yeah, there's a molly and a HE in the pockets of paiN. So they're going to have to wait out the utility from TYLOO on the retake, but this could be problematic. That Molotov could really cause some issues. Some grenade's actually going to be timed relatively well. Does
that's a good
damage, but that's a better timed grenade.
Big Azira, you need to come up with something here, my friend. Same as Davideus. They've got a 2v1 on towards Mercury, but they're blinded, and evidently so Mercury and Attacker will come out on top on that one. TYLOO get ever so closer towards map point on Inferno.
I think the impressive thing for me, right, is the fact that G has been quite quiet up until the last 4 rounds. He's had such a huge impact.
He just
last
needed
4
an
rounds with that AWP. Yeah, just give him an AWP, and he's actually changed his entire, you know, fortunes in this map so far.
Yeah.
Before that, he was dead quiet.
I mean, the whole of TYLOO kind of was in this map, to be honest with you. They've really come into their own on this CT side, which, look, let's be real. Inferno CT side, yeah, it does tend in towards having a little bit better success, but an immediate result from the pistol round for an immediate just impact across the board as well. Bar attacker is looking really good. Mosea, Jamyoung, again, successful in locking down this B site choke, and you're just not really getting in if you are paiN.
No, just denied, completely denied at the moment. The question is though, look, if DGT somehow manages to break this crossfire, G's been absolutely on fire, on point. So if he does try and take the stairs through carpet, he's got to contend with that. But he's just going to regroup and try and get into this B site. However, they've given free reign of the B site cross. It's just Jamyoung on the cross.
I think it's all right if you're TYLOO here. You've got the player advantage. You got a little lick into util still. NQZ misses the AWP shot, and the bomb isn't even planted just yet, so you can start to get your rotations out. You're actually further by time with the incendiary that does go down.
Well, everybody's here, right? Except for G. G's like, nah, I was convinced they were going to come out right up until the last moment.
Nah, you guys got this. I'll hang around. I'll check for any stragglers of paiN. But now's the time for TYLOO to mount this retake. Flashes on in HE if you want as well. NQZ, you'd expect he needs to be flashed off this line at the moment to put that AWP to bed. And that he will. Some good damage starting to come through from TYLOO. But Snow, he wants to answer with this one. NQZ too, they're doing it. They're finally getting something on this T side to stop a bit of the bleeding that TYLOO was dealing them. We will not have a map point in this one just yet.
Yeah, that is a much needed round for paiN. Honestly, NQZ, he was happy to be the target of all of the aggression coming out of TYLOO. He tanked the grenade, he took the flash, he took the aggro, he took the grenade. Everybody was pointing at him, and he still managed to take a peek as well. So I think that's, you know, commendable effort from him. He, funnily enough, has been the opposite of G. He's gone quiet in those last 4 rounds, particularly with that AWP when they needed him. Now, obviously, T-side AWPing and CT-side AWPing are two completely different beasts. He was very comfortable on that CT-side AWP on Inferno. T-side AWP, as I said, unless your opposition are giving you opportunities and, you know, over peaking you, then it's very difficult. You've got to try and force your own openings, and it just hasn't happened for paiN. So, that being said, though, what are they going to do now in this round?
Well, you generally expect trying to change things up. All right, TYLOO come out with that timeout. Early deep mid smoke usually suggests you're trying to get something down towards your second mid, but there's no investment from TYLOO to look at towards that. Blow open on the smoke, spot that nothing's there, readjust accordingly, and DGT is already towards the balcony. G had no vision on that one.
Yeah. G, who's been quite impactful, gets taken out quite early. That's the AWP going down. And all they're going to do is continue to pester on. No, he's just going to lead the charge on into this side. The trade, though, is not coming through. Davideus really needed to make that. And now, Mercury, thankfully, doesn't get a third. And NQZ, this is... Honestly, this is like playing public CS. When you've got someone sitting on ramp like that and you're trying to rotate, that's just some BS.
We're in the matchmaking sphere. That's for certain there. Usually it's the bomb that gets left down at T-stairs, but this time it's an actual player, which is fine as well, right? You get the idea that you've got that deeper mid smoke. You want to have a little bit of an idea on, is there anyone waltzing down banana that could play with that? Is it a mid crunch? Is there a second mid affair coming out? So it's some good awareness levels for paiN there, and a bit of a valiant attempt from Mercury on the A site as well to try to keep things interesting for TYLOO. But now we have 2 in a row for paiN, and they start to knock on the door of TYLOO.
And I think the occupants of the building are out at the moment. They've had to evacuate, step aside. Now the question for me is, can they continue to, I guess, pester like this, right? Like DGT and both Snow have been able to take a lot of space. And with that space that they took, they give so much territory to the rest of paiN. They're able to just freely move around. Even the fact that, you know, NQZ is able to just sit at the bottom of T-ramp with that AWP, as you know, frustrating as that is to play against, that's the kind of space and the opportunities he's being afforded because of his teammates going forward and just making absolute nuisances of themselves.
I look to the finances right now for TYLOO as well. No AWP on the CT side. That has been a pivotal component to finding some damage for G, for example. Near reset on the money situation. A hold for the Logs walk, and Jam Young pays the ultimate price.
Yeah, out on his own, out on an island. There was no support coming through for him. He was Molotoved off. He couldn't actually go forward, and he couldn't actually retreat either. So he was stuck between the proverbial rock and the hard place with no recourse.
5 versus 4.
Now,
yeah.
They've got to readjust. They're going to go back and they're going to try and pester this B side, knowing that it's probably going to be weakened, or at best they're going to have 2 opposition.
Well, there's just very minimal util for TYLOO as well in this scenario, right? You might actually even consider a save here, because if you try to force your hands on a retake and you drop your money, or you drop all your weaponry, you're playing with a couple of pennies, and then you're either half buying or you're playing on the loss bonus for the full buy. So you're probably not seeing any budge from the A-sided players at the moment. Just Mosaic to maybe get a tickle in towards this one. Maybe can cause paiN a bit of problems, but it is really not going to do anything to them. This hunt that'll start to come on towards the A side as well for Snow, where he can just cut off Mosaic and then look for more, is gonna potentially do something.
Oh, hide and go seek champion.
He's cheeky.
Doesn't save it though. That's a problem. Because the money is not going to be fantastic for TYLOO. So there's going to be a few low buys. Every weapon that they could have taken across the, you know, across to the next round would have been very beneficial for them. I mean, Mosaic gets 1 here. If he gets a second, you know, no harm, no foul. But the fact that he goes down very cheaply.
Yeah. paiN are no stranger to seeing comebacks when a team has found themselves on 11 either. Just yesterday, they themselves on 11, and Team Spirit managed to come away with 6 T-side rounds on Nuke to close. Are they going to be able to do the same here or not? Jam Young finally will get past the Logs and slot himself in, but by position of paiN, they don't even really want to contend with B at the moment.
No, this is not on the cards for them. That smoke's actually going to be problematic. There's free passage into pit, but they're still going to get crossed into the side. DGT is going to carve a way forward for them, and Snow just charges on in, but Attacker has been left to his lonesome, and he's actually taking the bomb down, so this is a real problem for paiN.
Yeah, 2 versus 2 now. Looking to see what Mosaic can do. Now Jam Young, all that's left to stop this comeback from paiN, a 1 versus 2, and the way that he's routing at the moment, he might line them both up. Is it a blessing or not? He sees the Tootsies. But what do you look to do? Bomb is down and dig, and I love this location that he's looking to reposition towards. Up in apartments. You would never really guess this, you'd assume, as a paiN. NQZ looked at it for a second. Might have just spotted him. I'm not exactly sure. They're looking at him now. His position is known. 30 seconds. Swing out, and he's caught jumping. Oh, no. For the efforts of TYLOO in this map to get to 11, they now see themselves at the elimination point.
Oh, that is just heartbreak. Jam Young has done such a great job. Mosaic really did lay the foundations of a great round. The fact that he was able to put the bomb down in that position really put paiN on the back foot. And
well, Attacker as well, right?
Yeah.
He finally got a kill?
Yeah, well, Attacker just needed to be a better defender. But he did his job in that round. Look, to be honest with you, it was just individual moment coming through. Jam Young really could have turned the tide there. Okay.
Is this going to be the last round or not? Do we need overtime to separate these two, Jim?
Well, exactly. we might be heading down that path if we cannot separate them.
Let's go then. What do you got for us, TYLOO? Bit of damage on Isaiah already. Window control for paiN. Something a little bit different.
Yeah, just changing things up at the 11th hour.
Again, a little bit more lackluster for the defenses of TYLOO here, and there's going to be some overwhelming forces heading G's way. Without the AWP, though, he will still look to get some damage. Somehow, alive with 100 still on the body. That is a bit of blasphemy being thrown into the mix, if you ask me. Now, attacker getting taken down to 9. We're not stopping if paiN have anything to say. They have a great flash on in, and everybody on TYLOO starts to fall like flies. A 2 versus 4 turn into 1, and then there was none. paiN Gaming make the comeback happen. 13 to 11 for the 2-0 in the series, and they will eliminate TYLOO from IEM Chengdu.
Yeah, unfortunately, the hometown team couldn't quite get it done when it came down to elimination. They showed that Inferno was a much better map for them. Of course, they're going to be disappointed. They had their opportunities, and unfortunately, they just allowed paiN back into this matchup. I think it's safe to say as well, there were a few players from paiN that really did step up over the course of the series. Snow is definitely one that sticks out for me. DGT, quite quiet, but had his moments. And, you know, you can't definitely write off G with that AWP. As soon as he got that in his hands, it felt like a different TYLOO on defense. So, of course, they're going to be disappointed. Of course,